Welcome to The Explainer. I am incredibly thrilled to have you with us today because we are looking at something literally one of a kind. We're actually tackling a dual-layered topic. On the one hand, we're digging deep into the technical weeds of cross-browser testing, figuring out how to make software work flawlessly everywhere. But on the other hand, we're exploring a brilliant meta blueprint derived from testcraft fundamentals on how to actually package that complex engineering knowledge into a highly engaging 15-minute educational script. So we're learning the tech, and we're learning how to teach the tech all at the exact same time. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll be covering the browser rendering dilemma, navigating critical testing paths, essential cross-browser tools, the content production blueprints, and finally, promoting your tech content. Section 1, the browser rendering dilemma. Now, if you've ever touched front-end development or quality assurance, you have absolutely screamed this exact question at your monitor. Why does the exact same code look completely different on Safari versus Chrome? It's honestly the core technical pain point of web development. You write a beautiful, perfect line of code, it looks absolutely stunning in one window, and in another, the layout is completely shattered. There's no way around it. This single, incredibly frustrating reality is exactly why this explainer and the testing methods we're about to dive into are absolutely crucial. Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is how the source document categorizes these massive headaches into two distinct camps. First, you've got your CSS and JavaScript compatibility issues. This is basically when a specific browser just flat out doesn't support a modern coding feature you've used. Simple enough. But then you have rendering differences and edge cases. And man, this is trickier. This is when the browser actually understands your code, but its underlying engine just decides to draw the pixels completely differently. Understanding that crucial distinction, that's your very first step toward effective testing. Which brings us to Section 2, navigating critical testing paths. The golden rule drawn straight from our source material is completely non-negotiable. You have to test critical paths on all browsers. Look, the days of testing your application in just your favorite browser and calling it a day, those are long gone. The rendering dilemma we literally just talked about guarantees that isolated testing will leave your users vulnerable to totally broken experiences. You simply must cast a wider net. So the crucial point is understanding exactly what we mean when we say critical path in this context. A critical path isn't, every single button or minor text color on your site. No, it's the sequence of essential actions a user absolutely must take to complete a primary task, like checking out of a shopping cart or signing up for a new account. According to the episode 39 outline, these essential paths must function flawlessly across the big four: Chrome, Firefox, Safari, and Edge. If that critical path breaks, the whole application fails. It's really that simple. Moving right along to Section 3, essential cross-browser tools. To actually conquer the big four, again, Chrome, Firefox, Safari, and Edge, the blueprints specifically recommends featuring Browser Stack and Sauce Labs in your workflow. These are the absolute heavy hitters in the industry. Instead of trying to maintain this insane physical lab filled with dozens of laptops and phones, these foundational tools let you simulate and test your critical paths across virtually any browser and operating system combination, right from a single dashboard. They are literally the ultimate solution to that rendering dilemma we discussed earlier. All right, Section 4, the content production blueprint. This is where things get super meta, and I love it. We're pivoting from the technical theory of software testing into the actual logistics of how to script and produce this exact information. When you're creating a 15-minute educational script, pacing is absolutely everything. The development notes highlight this really vital metric, 150 words per minute. So if you're speaking at a natural, conversational pace, this is your golden target. It basically means that to perfectly fill a 15-minute time frame without rushing or, totally putting your audience to sleep, you need to write a script that sits right around 2,300 words. It's brilliant because it takes all the guesswork completely out of the writing process. And this brilliantly illustrates how the source material breaks down the 15-minute episode structure, literally block by block. You start off at the fast, punchy 30-second hook. Then you spend a couple minutes defining exactly why the topic matters, followed by your core concepts and practical application. Now notice this, the largest chunk of time, 4 to 6 minutes, is fiercely protected for real examples and best practices. Finally, you wrap it all up with tools, a quick recap, and a call to action. It is a perfectly balanced template for keeping viewers glued to the screen. Once your script is completely locked in, the Testcraft blueprint lays out a highly consolidated production workflow. You can see the chronological journey right here. Step 1, writing that 2,300-word conversational script. Then you move straight into creating your graphics, your B-roll, and recording the talking head. Next comes the editing phase, adding in all those sleek animations and text overlays, followed by professional color grading, and of course, adding accessibility captions. Finally, you wrap the whole shebang up with SEO optimization for your title, description, and thumbnail, ensuring your final video, which by the way is fully Pictory compatible, actually gets found by your audience. But hey, a workflow is really only as good as the resources you actually dedicate to it. The practical commitments necessary to pull a production like this off look a little something like this. You need to allocate 2 to 3 solid hours just for script expansion, another 1 to 2 hours for recording, and a good 2 to 3 hours for video editing. Furthermore, the blueprint explicitly calls out the need for specialized human resources. We're talking a graphics designer for your infographics and a dedicated video editor to handle the heavy lifting in production. Planning for these exact time blocks and roles, that is exactly what separates an amateur effort from a truly professional-grade educational piece. And finally, Section 5, promoting your tech content. Let's see how this builds into a multi-platform promotional strategy. Because to extract maximum value and build a massive reach, you absolutely need one. You can't just post a link and pray, right? You have to slice it up. You extract 3 to 5 powerful sound bites, you turn your main points into a swipeable LinkedIn carousel, you take the absolute most dynamic visual moment and make a short Instagram reel, and finally, you distill those complex technical lessons into a really digestible tweet thread. It is a brilliant funnel that meets your audience exactly where they're already hanging out. Which brings us to the end of our journey today. We have thoroughly explored the complex engineering logic behind cross-browser rendering, and we've unpacked the exact time-tested content creator workflow needed to actually share that knowledge with the world. You have the testing tools, and you have the production blueprint. So the only thing left to ask is this: what critical path will you test and teach next? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I absolutely can't wait to see what you create.